Hello and welcome to the Join Dota League Season number 5 here on HeflaTV 1. This is going to be a two-game series between Sad Voids and Intz. As far as your casters are concerned, I'm GrandisV and I'll be joined by Mikelorus.
Yeah,
10
so
seconds
right
to
now we're
go.
going back to South America, and we'll see how these teams manage to fare. We're
5
actually
seconds.
running out of games in JDL America. Or most of the divisions are very close to being completed, and well, both of these two teams firmly in the middle of the pack. So for both of them, it's not too late to go either up or down, depending on how their future games go. And I'm gonna recall you really fast.
Okay, no problem. This is especially important for Intz as they're sitting at 3 and 5 inside their standings, and well, Sad Voids are just above them with 2 more wins, and Megalodon are just below them with 2 more losses. So it is very important for them if they want to just secure their spot in Division 2, but I think mathematically it's not really possible for Intz at the very least to get to the top. But for Sad Voids, however, if they end up with a 2-0 here, they are in the contention for a spot in Division 1.
Right, so we'll see how this is able to pan out. Again, it's possible for them to move up for Division One, but the competition up there at the top of this division is it's rough. It really is really rough. CNB and the Rebels are also up there, and they've only lost one. So good luck getting up there, and then good luck beating your opposition. But either way, looks like we have a draft on our hands. Shadow Fiend going to take a rather early ban. Lycan Bat also going to be banned out by the Sad Voids. So Troll Warlord going to be the first pick for Ints. Lion for Sad Voids. Still nothing too surprising, but I'm hoping for something a little bit different today.
Yeah, definitely. So for now, it's nothing out of the ordinary, but it's always fun to see teams at least experiment with something a little bit out of the ordinary. But for now, the meta is pretty set in stone, and in all honesty, quite a bit stale. I'd like to see some big updates soon, and we're going to see Axe again. For Ints, this is one of the dream openings, getting both the Troll and the Axe on the same team.
Yeah, if you have Batrider and Lycan banned out, well, you don't have to deal with those heroes, but I would say in general, Axe is probably a little bit scarier than the Batrider. What he lacks in being able to bring his enemies to his allies, he makes up for in just being able to kill them, which is sometimes just as good and well, most of the time a lot better. So these are two, supreme S plus tier first ban worthy heroes, and well, Ints have both of them. So as you said, as far as starts are concerned, I honestly don't know if a team could get a better one, unless, assuming they're comfortable with running all heroes. These two seem to be like on the top of most teams' lists.
Yeah, definitely. So for Sad Voids, I'm not exactly sure what they consider here. Venge is still in the pool if they want to just hammer out their supporting duo now, as is the Witch Doctor. But as far as those top tier cores, most of them are pretty much all taken out.
Yeah, so we'll see if they. I mean, they're obviously gonna have to dip down a little bit into the second tier of really heavy hitting cores, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I mean, these top tier cores got here by being in the second tier, and I guess an elaborate metaphor for JDL as a whole. But we'll see who gets to get their time. It's going to be the Clockwork. So this is a hero that is, slowly becoming more and more first pick worthy. Just having the ability to initiate, having a stun that goes through BKB, not to mention the Cogs utility and the Rocket Flare utility. This Clockwork does it all as long as he gets a good start in lane.
Could you go ahead and quickly check the stream quality and make sure that the sound is going correctly?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Hopefully that's not going to be an issue that persists, but either way, we'll have the Venge banned out by Sad Voids, and it's going to further secure the Clockwork's initiation. Can be pretty much brick-walled by a defensive swap. And, well, for Ints, we'll have to see what they're going to end up taking out of the pool. Scarth Mage could be a decent ban, as is the Witch Doctor. But for them, they definitely want to pick up some supports themselves. After already starting out the Troll and the Axe, although that's really comfortable an opener for most teams, it does leave you lacking those roles filled.
All right, so from what I hear of the audio, you seem a little bit staticky. I thought that was just on my end, which is why I recalled, but
Is it still
apparently
the
it's not.
case?
I mean, it was on the stream. It is.
I will go ahead and... Oh, I have no idea what I'm going to do to actually fix this. I
It's
have
not gonna be.
literally changed nothing.
Well, that's not good, guys. shit happens. We'll see if we could fix it on the support is actually would have been a decent pick for Sad Voids, but then again, Ints do have the first pick after the ban phase, so you really do want a Vengeful Spirit on your team if you're going up against the Clockwork. Either saving your ally, swapping them out of the cogs, or swapping someone else into the cogs. It's going to be a top tier ban there for Sad Void, and then a Tinker rather early for Ints, and Tinker is definitely a hero that is a little bit more of a
Hello? Hopefully this is better? Mike? Are you there? Are you alive? Sorry about this, guys. I really have no idea what's going on. Hello? Skype is not picking up my microphone. There's a problem with this call. Okay, my microphone's getting picked up by Skype, but Mike is not there. So I pray that my mic is actually coming through properly and that it's not actually all fuzzy.
all right. Well,
Is it any better?
it sounds better on my end, but I will once again listen to the
Okay.
stream and oh yeah, it sounds like usual now.
Literally all I did was plug it and unplug it, so...
Yeah, it's tech support 101.
hopefully this fixes it all, but... Yeah, I'm perplexed. I've been using this mic for months.
Well, now that you've shown it who's boss, let's take a look at what we're caught up on at this draft. Skywarth Mage, the ban out from Sad Voids. Again, could have been a decent pick with them as far as comboing up with the Lion, comboing up with the Clockwork, and even shutting down the Axe to a lesser extent. Ints seem to be really scared about some global power, a little bit of split pushing action, and well, I mean, the Tinker is going to be a annoying hero to deal with, though. Io as the pick for Ints is, well, another one of those top tier heroes that's a little bit more flavorful than others, but it looks like they definitely want to run this now with a Tiny. Oh man, Ints are going to be hitting hard.
And very fast, too. With the Battle Trance, Tiny is going to be a tower demolition service for his team if they're able to actually get uptime onto those towers, and he has Aghanim's Scepter at the ready. Sad Voids, although their heroes are very potent, they rely a little bit on snowballing. Getting off those first couple of hookshot ganks through Int's lineup is very scary, but then again, it is very melee heavy and likely to be kited by Sad Voids if they, I don't know, just set everything up correctly. You have the cogs as well as the impale that can be very disruptive.
Yeah, usually you have a downside of all these melee heroes in that you will struggle to get to the back line, and if Sad Voids want to grab something like a sniper as their last pick, then usually these types of heroes will struggle to get back there. But Tiny or anyone really with the extra mobility given by the IO and having a Blink Dagger on the Axe, hell, even having a Blink Dagger on Troll Warlord would make it a little bit difficult for the Sad Voids backline, whoever that may be, if it's anyone at all, to really sit back and get their firing off. But Sad Voids, they're going to grab the Enigma, and I really like this pick. It's a very independent hero. Doesn't really help the team too much in the early stages. Mostly, you just want to get farm. But if you're going to go up against all these melee heroes, Black Hole and Midnight Pulse versus all three strength heroes, man, that is going to get some insane value.
Yeah, definitely. So they do like building very tanky and can be very potent. I think it's a pretty good route for a Sad Voids to take. As far as their fifth, however, they have a decent amount of lockdown coming up from the Clockwork line and Enigma, so I think they could probably afford to just go straight up damage for the safe lane farmer.
Yeah, so maybe they're going to consider Sniper. I don't really know if you want to go for a melee hero and try to just man up against these three heroes. Like Tiny with Craggy Exterior means that you're going to be a little bit happier if you're attacking from a range. So probably range heroes the bare minimum, and ideally you want to be on the tankier end, but man, it's going to be hard to outdamage Int's side. If they grab like a Witch Doctor as their last pick, they'll have insane sustain.
Yeah, and that is available. It's going to be the Lich Band coming out from Sad Voids. And honestly, I think that the Witch Doctor is probably a little bit more scary to go up against.
Yeah, so we'll see which one they actually do want to grab. Again, Sad Voids, because they do have a lot of CC, makes the Witch Doctor a little bit worse. But I think the Lich is also pretty terrifying. Like, I mean, the Tiny and Io suffer from low armor. Axe, if you blink in and call, then, well, you're going to be taking a lot of hits, and you will set up for a really nice Chain Frost thereafter. So that would have been a really scary pick for the inside. But I mean, look at Sad Voids' bans. They've taken care of so many supports, but just not the support that Ints are really happy to grab, that Witch Doctor.
Yeah, for Sad Voids, they've had the Medusa taken away from them, which could have been a very annoying hero for Ints to deal with if they let it have enough space, and with their supporting duo, it's not the greatest at roaming and actually punishing a Medusa in the early stages of the game, so it could have worked out for them. As far as what else is on the table for them, what do you think they're going to have in mind?
Well, again, they want to shy away from these melee heroes, just going up against a Tiny and Axe and Troll Warlord. That's definitely not that fun. Still kind of considering the sniper, but again, like it will be very difficult to buy him enough space. But if any lineup can do it, it's a lineup with a black hole and cogs. So if they want to grab that, then they will be decently happy. And just probably heroes like Anti-Mage Spectre are a little bit less appealing for the Sad Void side right now.
Yeah, I was considering maybe like a Viper Razor. No, they're actually going to drop into a Life Stealer. Very interesting.
I like it. That's exactly the hero you want. Like, it gets around the fact that he's melee because he has rage. So, like, yeah, you'll be hit with bashes and calls and everything like that, but you're up against 3 strength heroes. You will be able to bypass most of the damage output from Ints, or a good deal of it at least. So this is a pretty sweet pick from the Sad Void side. Good to see them busting out some old tech.
Yeah, I really want to see this Lifestealer work out for them, but then again, I don't see a point where he's actually going to be able to really man-fight the Tiny and Troll Warlord, so I don't know. If he gets behind, things could get very scary.
Yeah, that's definitely true. But again, the inside, they are going to have to deal with a lot of CC. And if you hex someone or spike someone or hookshot anyone, then Lifestealer will have so much time to just get in there and do the damage. And if you have a Blink Dagger on your TA, or if you just have your Lifestealer infest Clockwork, then the inside, who are very weak in the early stage, or kind of weaker in the early stages, will just be torn to shreds by this heavy physical damage hero. So it definitely has its weaknesses. Again, being up against bashing, being up against the Berserker's Call, all of that goes through the rage. Not exactly where Lifestealer wants to be, but it seems like there weren't many great options, so you might as well take an okay option.
Yeah, and he does have a lot of ways to get into the fight. To introduce the Radiant side, it's going to be Intz with Dudu playing on the Axe in the mid lane. Looks like we're going to have a Troll played by 2. This isn't a ticketed game, so unfortunately their names might not be correct. ACC going to be playing on the Io, Fuzzy Delin on the Tiny, and last but not least, Witch Doctor played by Cobb.
And for the Sad Voids, you got Zap playing the Templar Assassin. On the Enigma, it's going to be Jexhaus. My bad. Gix is going to be that Lifestealer. Kezia on the Lion. And then Karuba is going to be playing the Clockwork. Got a message that says you're muted in Dota TV, but it's not ticketed, so it doesn't really matter too much, I don't think. But I guess if you could fix that for the future, that would be great.
Sure thing. I'm not muted, but my mic is actually not working in Dota, so
I mean, it doesn't matter. No one's watching it on the ticket because it's not ticketed, so it's fine. We'll just progress onwards as per normal, and well, it looks like it's going to be a even bounty rune split, and then the lane's going to be progressing more or less as expected. It looks like.
Yeah, I tried toggling it, but yeah, the mic is just not agreeing with me today. Either way, Dudu going to be potentially cut out a little bit up towards top after placing out a ward, or did he even get a ward down? Doesn't look like that's the case. Just going to be an offlane axe.
No, he did, right, and they're just sitting right on top of it. There is no detection here for the Sad Voids, but this Observer Ward, it's not going to matter too much in the grand scheme of things. Honestly, if Axe gets hit with the Hex, and then Lifestealer has A point in open wounds and A point in anything else, then the Axe is going to take quite a beating, and he will maybe be able to dodge that occasionally, but I don't see this Observer Ward really helping him too much, assuming the Enigma is going to be just sitting in the jungle farming, which is a very high probability.
Yeah, definitely so. At least at the first wave, he's going to be able to get some nice levels and experiences. He hold the creeps towards his tower, and we'll just spin those down pretty safely. Mid lane matchup, TA versus Troll. Should be pretty good for the Troll Warlord. The blind chance is really annoying for the TA, but then again, she's not shut down either.
Yeah, the Troll Warlord has that a little bit of nice range advantage for right now, and well, Zap will be able to dodge, hopefully, the Whirling Axe hits, but still, if they get into a man fight, Troll Warlord, I would probably say has a slight edge, although it really depends on how many creeps are there and well, how the TA is really taking that fight. But for right now, Troll Warlord is going to be pretty happy, and he probably will be happy moving forward. He's probably not going to get any support from any of his allies. Fortunately for him, this lane matchup is good enough that he doesn't really need it.
Yeah, definitely. So sports currently, the IO is just going to be stacking up for the Tiny, and actually the Troll finds a big opening on the Zap Brannigan. No mana for Refraction. He's actually not going to die. The tower is going to save him, but still, a very poor trade for the TA, who doesn't yet have her bottle.
It was very easily done also by the Troll Warlord. Whirling Axes is really cheap as far as mana is concerned. Just throw the melee, throw the range, and you're happy. Up towards top, Dudu is in a lot of trouble. He will go down to be the first blood. That's Gix drawing it as that life stealer. And really, all it takes is level 2. You land the spike, you land the hex. Boots first, helping out in that as well. And, well, I mean, if Axe can't survive that, I don't think many heroes can.
In fact, Axe might be at a pretty big disadvantage inside this lane. I don't know, he has a decent amount of strength under his belt, but that's just going to be feeding the feast of the Lifestealer. He's going to come back and finds himself level 3, which is more than you can say for the Clockwork. Even though he hasn't died yet, the clock is still being sown pretty easily by the Witch Doctor, and they'll open up with the Avalanche. They do not have a toss. They're actually going to toss him back to the creeps, and it looks like he's going to give up a death as well.
Man, you just had to say he wasn't going to die yet. You had to say it, and you killed him off, man. Caster's Curse in full effect. But yeah, Clockwork is... Yeah, this isn't really the most dangerous lane. IO doesn't have that much damage output. Witch Doctor pretty much is just a stun, but the Clockwork having to deal with just the tiny combo, anyone having to deal with that, is just a lot of burst damage, and if you get caught out just a little bit with a cast, chain stun with the Avalanche, there's not really that much you could do. But either way, Clockwork returning to this bottom lane is still going to be having a decent enough time. It did take 3 heroes to kill him down, whereas for Sad Voids, they were jungling with the Enigma when they got the kill on the Axe.
Yeah, and they are getting a lot from this Enigma, as Gexus hasn't been touched at all. He's just going to continue farming up, although currently he doesn't have enough mana for conversion, which is really annoying. Clockwork actually got to turn on a Tiny and get a very easy kill. Looks like he just got a little too overzealous without his supports.
Yeah, gotta remember that even though this is a 1v3 lane for the Tiny, for the inside, it is still a core hero versus a core hero who's melee versus Clockwork, and Clockwork demolishes most other melee heroes as far as when he gets into a fistfight with them. So it's on the Tiny to make sure that that just doesn't happen. And well, he didn't have the support that one time, and it ended up costing him his life. So just like that, Clockwork is rebounded back into this game, and still a little bit behind the Axe, but man, he's doing fantastically now that he got that solo kill.
Gexus ends up eating a clap from the Hellbears, and this is actually going to slow down his farming quite heavily on the Enigma, but I think that's pretty much all we're going to talk about him for, because outside of that, he hasn't been slowed down at all, has his Soul Ring up and running, and should be able to farm pretty continuously. In this rune on Karuba, however, this might just get them kill on a Troll or open up with the battery assault, but with the axes, they have some turnaround potential. They'll get a call over in the sidelines to stop the line a little bit. The Eye was trying to heal him up, but not going to be to any avail. Troll going to go down as Axe looks to kill off Gexus. Gexus dropping low. One more right click from the Axe is going to be enough to bring him down.
IO now with an empty bottle, and Dudu doesn't really have much backup here. Cav actually is going to arrive to the party, throw out the cast onto Kizia, who's going to get called as well. Gets a lucky spin. Dudu is going to claim that kill. That looked pretty darn good for Sad Voids. Getting that one-man cog battery assault fairly isolated away. Problem is that Enigma came in, and he didn't have an Eidolon army, so he really only had a Midnight Pulse and a level 1 Malphus, both of which aren't really too impressive. And to add on to that, he was at half HP. So even though Sad Voids had a momentary numbers advantage, it was kind of deceptive because, well, their fourth was kind of wounded.
Yeah, and it's going to end up working out decently well for Intz, although they definitely would have liked to hold on to Troll's life, or at least for a little bit longer. He's still pretty comfortable inside this mid lane, and neither hero is really pulled ahead when it comes to CS or in levels.
Yeah, so looks like it's going to be a relatively even farm game, as looking at the net worth and experience, it's pretty much negligible on both ends. And for Sad Voids, I mean, they're going to be pretty happy about keeping it like this for a little while, but definitely in the late game, this tiny IO combination with the Troll Warlord Battle Trance is going to be extremely problematic. So probably once they get, Blink Daggers or just a couple more levels on their heroes, then they're going to have to look to make some more aggressive plays.
Yeah, definitely so. We'll have to see when that's going to come up for them. Gix has been left pretty much completely alone. Unlike the Clockwork, Axe can't necessarily get a kill onto the Lifestealer unless he's incredibly lucky, especially pre-level 6 with no rotations. So he'll just continue farming away. Clockwork down towards bottom, gonna need a lot of damage from the IO Spirits, but is able to walk away and bottle up underneath his tower. Although that was cutting it close, it looks like he only ate the Avalanche. The toss wasn't thrown.
And that's lucky for him, as that kill would have accelerated the IO just a little bit more and wouldn't exactly have given him level 6. He's going to get hit by Roshan. That's got to suck for him. But it would bring him a little bit closer to level 6. And Intz, they're probably not going to be the team that looks for a ton of action, seeing as though their Axe is going to have a very delayed Blink Dagger. The only action they're going to be looking for is with occasional relocate. And if you could delay that for however long you can, then you're going to be keeping all of your heroes safer just by a marginal amount.
Axe going to find himself a nice stack to farm up, maybe with some help from the IO. But he should be able to call this one down pretty nicely, as long as he gets the lucky spins, that is, and it looks like that's going to be the case.
So still, he's quite far away from his Blink Dagger, but that is something that he's going to be farming for. I wonder if TA is going to be going for that as well. The standard TA build, I think, as of late, typically do favor the little bit more of a race car, power treads, Yasha kind of build, but you could always just go for a Blink Dagger, and you will be pretty happy with that. And with the Lifestealer on their team, maybe they will go for that build and have Templar Assassin Lifestealer, as a kind of side combination. When you have a Clockwork already, you don't really need too many people with Blink Daggers, but more the merrier.
Well, for now, Gix is going to pick up drums for himself, and maybe we see some potential for him to hop inside one of the stunning creeps and go for a gank that way. But I think it's more likely that they wait until they have level 6 on the Clockwork before we see any infests.
Yeah, that's Lifestealer is probably happy just chilling where he is. He has the drums up, and this is a build that would indicate that Sad Voids want to be playing this a little bit more aggressively. Otherwise, you just grab a Hand of Midas, and then you just chill in your lane forever. So they are gearing up for, I think, the correct course of action. Of course, that action is not coming yet, and if that action is delayed for another 1,000 gold in the Axe, then it won't really do that much for the Sad Void side. Dudu gonna get initiated upon up towards top, gets his wound open, getting to take a lot of damage taken, drum charge, plus the phase boots, and Dudu is now stuck in a corner. Gix is going to get that kill, now he's got to worry about Cab coming in. However, there is far from enough damage. Gix is going to get some help from the Lion. Infest is hidden in there, needs to get the Hex out, and he will. Spike going to land only onto the Troll, but these heroes are none too healthy. Gix is going to lose the man fight versus the Troll Warlord, and now Kezia is in a lot of trouble. TA going to throw a trap, try to ward everyone else away, and it looks like it will buy enough time for the Lion to escape. But still, that Lifestealer diving really deep for a difficult kill, and ended up getting punished in the end. Bottom, more action happening as the Lio is getting chased down by Karuba. I think an Avalanche will zone him out.
It looks like that's going to be all she wrote as the ace is worn off, and now Fuzzy's looking for a toss, can't find it. Cogs are going to bounce him back. I think that's going to assuage any aggression down towards bottom.
Yeah, he's going to slip out of there. That could have been a big kill. They're going to actually throw the IO grenade. That won't really do that much at all. Unfortunately, the tether no longer stuns, which used to be a thing, but no longer. Clockwork approaching his level 6 is a little bit behind that Axe, but hell, he will be able to make some pretty nice contributions to his team, because by the time he gets level 6, the Sad Void side should have a mechanism on the Enigma, and then I really think it's time for them to make some really, really aggressive plays and try to get some kills on the board.
Yeah, definitely so. DD Runes picked up by the TA, and for now she's a force to be reckoned with and probably can't be fought by the Troll, although yeah, we're probably just waiting for that mech up before anything really happens, although TA is going to pop a trap onto 2, but decides against diving that one. Might have been able to get away with it, but that melee blind chance is a little too much for TA to deal with right now.
Yeah, she would have just been rolling the dice to see if she would have gotten the kill. If she gets lucky, she gets the kill, or actually, I guess if she gets unlucky, then she doesn't get the kill. But with a double damage rune, with the slow from a fully planted trap, I'm pretty sure I would have gone for that one. The risk is pretty high, and the reward is pretty high, but the risk not really that high, since you may not get the kill on Troll Warlord, but the chance of him turning around and killing you very, very low. So TA is going to play it safe for right now, but the Troll Warlord is now maybe in a little bit more trouble because this time it's not just the TA in the area, it's also the Lion.
He's smoked up on the high ground, and Radiant have no vision up here, so if they get a similar trap-off onto the Troll, this might just be his death. He has some Morbid Mask to keep him at a decent amount of HP, and an Axe that's close. But is he close enough? I don't think so. Let's see if they're going to open up into him. No, answer's no. They're just going to chill.
Well, his Lion is still chilling. Cab is right behind this Troll Warlord, so Intz definitely know that this top lane is a vulnerable, or this mid lane rather, is a vulnerable position for anyone to be in. Troll Warlord, I would say, is tanking up to survive most things, but man, this TA has almost maxed out meld level 4 refraction as well. She will be able to tear down the Troll Warlord very, very quickly, despite the fact that Troll, as far as most agility heroes are concerned, is more on the tanky side.
Things have slowed down. The TA trap is going to be deployed, but doesn't net anything, and for now it's just posturing from both sides. Enigma farms up. In the meantime, has his mechanism all the way ready, but hasn't put any pressure onto towers as of yet. Looks like he just wants to chill and farm up. Honestly, if Sad Boys were going for this, maybe going for Midas on your Lifesteal would have done a little bit more.
Yeah, they have items that would indicate they want to play a certain way, yet they're not really playing in said way. If, well, they're going to lose the Clockwork. That's certainly not going to help out. Fortunately for the Clock, he does reach level 6 beforehand, but now level 7 is up on the IO, so maxed out spirits and relocation potential now available for the inside. Sad Boys, they're burning effective time right now. This is when they should be on the aggressive, looking for tower pushes with the maxed out demonic conversions, but instead they're just trying to scrape together a little bit more farm, and as nice as that is, man, you itemize for right now. You should be doing something right now.
EV's in mid. Potential jump onto the TA. There's a line behind him, and they'll hex onto 2. Hookshot over in the sidelines, catching out Cobb as Garuba looks to find a solo kill there. Paralyzing cast bounces between 2 heroes, but the TA is going to end up dying to the IO and Tiny, who've relocated onto the backlines. Fuzzy, as well as the IO, are in a bit of a pickle right now, but it looks like they're going to get out cleanly. Call in mid. Dudu gets a couple of spins, and he actually gets the third one to kill off the Lion. Dudu trying to run away. They do not have a battery assault yet, but with the Malefice and with the battery assault cooling down in 1 second, this should be a return kill. But Troll has joined the fray again. Gexos isn't going to die immediately, as Troll doesn't want to dive that deep, and in the end, it's a 2 for 2.
And Gix just chilling on the top lane the entire time. That relocation might have just saved Intz from having a truly disastrous fight, because it didn't really look like it was going to be starting out that well for them. Clockwork getting the solo hookshot in, at the same time the Lion, or the Templar Assassin rather, baiting the Troll into the Lion, who is of course waiting with the Hex and the Spike. So when your fight starts like that, generally the fights aren't going to be going well, but having the Tiny arrive, having the Axe arrive for Intz, they had pretty much all their heroes there, whereas Sad Boys, they had a hero who was doing nothing on the top lane, and as nice as having farm on your Lifestealer is, the Lifestealer could have cleaned house if he was there.
Yeah, he does have a Sanj up now, so it looks like SNY is going to be the order of business for a Lifestealer, but now he's infested up inside Garuba, so this should be a pretty easy kill onto the Witch Doctor. Hookshot in, infest out, cogs open, 1 smack from Lifestealer. Pretty straightforward there.
And it is going for probably the easiest hero to kill on the inside next to that IO, but with that amount of damage, they probably could have gotten away with killing most of the heroes from the inside, and they're going to try to go again. Dudu is not going to get hexed, though. Garuba's going to lead the charge. That might have just been a mistake. If you switch the positions of Lion and Clockwork there and have Lion run in for the Hex, pretty sure that would have been a possible kill.
Yeah, definitely a lot more likely. In the end, Axe is going to be able to walk out there cleanly. He does have the Blink Dagger up on the Axe, so they do need to be careful about him now with the relocate in. They get the call onto Gix, because he is there for the Hex onto the Axe. Now the turnaround with a 3-man spike. Open wounds onto Dudu, and the Infest is going to mean that or rather the Rage is going to mean that he doesn't take that much damage from the Avalanche. Now with the Witch Doctor, they turn onto Gix and relocate out there cleanly. A disaster for Sad Voids. Dudu survives.
Man, that toss, you oh wait, they're not done yet. They're gonna get Cab, catch him in the trees with the cogs, and it looks like the Witch Doctor didn't get the memo that they were backing out of that area, but it's very rare that you see toss being used to save an ally from a Lifestealer. Just he was positioned correctly, got a little bit lucky with the rolls as well, and Lifestealer got thrown away from the Axe, who he could have killed in 1 more hit, but the Tiny coming in with some very rarely seen utility. And Intz, well, they're keeping on pace with Sad Voids, and they're doing pretty decently. I mean, they're slightly ahead in the net worth, kind of even in the experience, but Tiny even going for a Drums of Endurance build is not really a really standard build for a one core role farming Tiny. But if you know the enemies are going to be playing aggressively, then you get these drums, you get these power treads, and then you just man fight. Because Tiny's early mid game ability to fight, it is pretty high.
Yeah, I like the drum choice coming out from the Tiny, especially since it's not really going to slow down his Aghanim Scepter that much. I think he'll still be able to get it at a decent timing, and they're farming at a nice pace. Well, for now, things are going to be diffused a little bit as both sides want to just farm up on their side of the map, but I think this does favor Intz, as Sad Voids would like to be fighting, especially with Templar Assassin going for a Blink Dagger.
TA has her Blink Dagger. Enigma also has a Blink Dagger. So Sad Voids, they have so many ways of getting into these fights and starting something. Problem is, so far the fights just haven't really going fantastically for them, despite the fact that they have been starting these fights most of the time. So the Blink Daggers on the Enigma, the Blink Dagger on the Enigma, that's still hidden. Templar Assassin has shown hers off. But Intz, I mean, they have a Blink Dagger on their Axe, and that can nullify one or two Blink Daggers on the Sad Void side, assuming Axe is in the correct position for a counter initiation.
Yeah, and that could be huge. Well, for now, Sad Voids may or may not be sitting on their advantage. We'll just have to see. It's pretty much just a dead even game, as both sides are farming up under their towers and inside their woods, and not really going for any aggressive moves.
Alright, so eventually Sad Voids should be looking for that move. They have a trap on Roshan, and with the Templar Assassin and Eidolons, going for a Roshan kill is certainly very possible, but I mean, they don't really have the strongest Roshan fighting team, but I think they have a strong enough team so that they won't just sacrifice the Roshan straight away to Sad Voids. But instead, they're going to go in the opposite direction and go towards the top lane, grouping up as 5. It doesn't really matter what lane you go to as long as you're taking some towers, but so far the towers are more or less untouched.
And speaking of that Roshan, Intz can take it very fast as well. They have the Troll, packing a Yasha, and with plenty of gold to go in towards another item. Aghanim Scepter is all the way done up on this Tiny, and he's going to start accelerating his farm at a ridiculous pace.
Man, this is a really fast Aghanim Scepter, especially when you consider he bought Drums, Ring of Basilius, Power Treads all before that, so yeah, his farm is going to be getting pretty off the charts, and well, if you look at Sad Void's side, they have a couple ranged heroes, yes, but Templar Assassin with low range, Lion, who, you know, if he's a little bit too close, wants to get in there for a Hex, can also be in the cleave radius, and hell, if you cleave just once or twice, Lion's mostly dead anyway, so Sad Voids, they have to respect this cleaving power of the Tiny, because he's hitting for 200 pop, and that is an extraordinary amount for 20 minutes in.
Yeah, especially when you have Battle Trance, which I believe is level 2 up for the Troll Warlord. That extra 120 attack speed is going to mean the Troll, or rather Tiny is trucking. Double damage room picked up by the TA. It would be incredibly scary if Tiny got his hands onto that. But yeah, I think Intz are, even though they have this fighting power, are comfortable just farming up. As scary as the Tiny is with just an Aghanim Scepter, wait until he has an Assault Cuirass and a BKB. Well, BKB maybe not, but either way, just more items.
And Sad Voids, like, we were just talking about how they're sitting and kind of wasting their hero's potential. They are also packing this Black Hole, which has yet to be casted. They have yet to use a hookshot since the mid lane fight, I think. Since then, there have been no hookshots. And when you have pretty much instant kill power with a Lifestealer bomb with a Clockwork, you should be looking for hookshots every 70 seconds. As soon as it's up, you look for another kill. They're going to smoke up right now, and looks like they're going to be running into the Troll Warlord, but Troll is going to have his smoke popped and then book it in the other direction. And this guy is swift, man. He's sitting at 450, 514 movement speed when he's phasing. You can't easily catch up to him. Smoke failure there for Sad Void. They're going to try to go for Roshan straight away, but I think this is pretty clear to this inside what's going on.
Yeah, definitely. So this could very easily be crashed by Intz. They're going to group up, smoke up with Cup, Dudu as well as with 2, and I don't think this Roshan's going down quick enough, even with the minus armor coming out from Mel. They'll look for the blink call. They find themselves Gexos. Taking the black hole off the table first would be really nice for them, but he's not falling quick enough. Eventually, they are going to be able to get the dunk up, but in the meantime, Tiny is wreaking havoc inside the backlines. Clockwork going to end up losing his life. Dudu being focused down by Gex, but not fast enough. Now that they bring in the Tiny and the Troll, Troll going to go on to Kezia. 2 shots him with those whirling axes infest into Zap. They don't have detection on the ground, so a blink away from the TA is going to keep them safe, but then again, they're going to lose this Roshan that they've been working so hard for after a 3-for-1 fight.
So you kill off the Witch Doctor as Sad Voids, that's like only part 1. You got to deal with the Tiny, you got to deal with the Troll and the Axe. but going for the axe first is exactly what you don't want to be doing as Sad Voids. They don't even have a Finger of Death. Lion literally 2 experience away from having that, and Lifestealer wants to be going for the hero with the least armor. And when Axe uses his Berserker's Call, he's going to have by far the most armor, and Lifestealer is going to be hitting for nothing. And at the same time, he will most likely be wasting his Rage timer while doing so. So for Sad Voids, they don't get the initiation off, and it wasn't really the cleanest initiation for Intz, only catching one person there with a call and having to use a Death Ward, and still the Enigma lived for a very long time. It was far from ideal, but the focus fire from Sad Voids was pretty much non-existent.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't. Now Tier 1 tower immediately after the fact is going to lose its life. You have Troll that's working towards the next major item, and that's going to be a Blink Dagger up. We're going to have a Crimson Guard for Dudu, and Fuzzy's also sitting on almost 3k gold on the Tiny. Things are looking up for Intz, and the same can't be said for Sad Voids. I think they need to go for more smoke ganks if they want to come back into this game.
And I mean, they don't even really need smoke ganks. If you just lifesteal, invest into the clockwork, and look for a hook shot, those could most of the time result in some serious action for your team. And no one's really going to think twice about a clockwork wandering around until they realize it's not just the clockwork. Up towards top, though, Zap might be blinked upon. That was a blink call potential with 5 creeps and a hero. But they decide to fall back. Zap, though, is still pushing out. And this is not where he wants to be, because if he sticks around, he might just die right now. Blink. There's the blink call with 4 creeps plus Death Ward. Man, there's no heroes that could withstand that. They even whiff the Culling Blade, but it doesn't even matter.
Yep, with Culling Blade, they have the Sentry Ward on the ground after the fact, but yeah, just a really easy kill on the Templar Assassin who was not expecting that, as Dire have very little vision actually protecting their safe lane. All of it's committed towards mid and Roshan control for the most part, but they haven't been able to actually abuse that. Axe will continue pushing up towards top, and they'll look to put an end to this as they bring up the Clockwork and the Enigma.
Yeah, you're bringing Clockwork and Enigma up to the top lane, but you also have to worry about bottom, because Tiny is hitting very fast with Battle Trance, also has a fresh Hyperstone being delivered, so an Assault Cuirass is soon incoming for this Tiny. Sad Voids are going to do hook shot in onto this Tiny, but he has an Aegis. He actually just doesn't care at all, especially since Io and Troll are both here. It's seen a lot of damage onto Karuba, not lethal damage, but when Troll blinks in with the Whirling Axes, there goes the kill. Enigma had an opportunity there for a black hole, but with no backup, you don't go for that, and it's just going to be a free kill for Intz, plus a tower, plus with the Aegis still in tow, they could go for another tower.
Yeah, absolutely nothing that they could feasibly do about that one, and Intz are still with a decent amount of time left on this Aegis, about 2 minutes left, where they pretty much have teamfight supremacy, unless Sad Voids find the perfect black hole with TA cleaving through all of that with the side blades. Tier 2 tower mid's going to be chunked down to half HP, and well, it's already gone. Sad Voids could do nothing about it. They're just going to be giving up pretty much all of these tier 2s, it seems, with this Aegis.
And this is the time where Sad Voids are supposed to be winning this game. They have taken down 1 tier 1 tower of the inside, and it took literally all their heroes to move up to the top lane to actually get it done. Bottom lane is very, very healthy. Mid lane almost perfectly healthy. So Sad Voids are going to lose any sort of semblance of map control, and this is really, really where you want your heroes to be working with Hands of Midas, or you want your Templar Assassin to not have a Blink Dagger, because it's pretty much just dead gold in your inventory right now. You want her to have, drums, Yasha, that type of build for the late game. But right now, Sad Voids, they might have just wasted their best shot at just, taking an advantage when they were at a stronger point. Now they're going to be working from behind for the rest of the game, and I don't really like their chances outside of that black hole that you mentioned.
Yeah, and that really is something that they don't want to be falling back on, especially not 24.5 minutes into the game. Well, we'll just have to see. Right now, the Courier is pretty loaded, holding the majority of an Assault Cuirass for the Tiny, as well as a Blade Mail up for the Axe. Tier 2 tower up towards the top. They have no glyph to defend this, and nobody's in position. And most crucially, not the Enigma. It's already gone. Tiny going to mop up that last hit.
Unfortunately for Intz, now is the time where they know that the Aegis is going to be reclaimed soon. So they can't really go for a high ground push without being at a little bit of risk. So they can't outright end the game right now. But hey, they've been okay with just sitting back and chilling for, 25 minutes now. And well, they're going to be happy doing that exact same thing for just a couple more minutes. Once Roshan is back alive after the Aegis is reclaimed, then they're probably going to look to break high ground, really with their advantage right now, which is all the way past 10,000 in both golden experience. Sitting back and doing nothing will be fine for a little bit, but you don't really want to sit back and give the enemy more hookshot opportunities, more black hole opportunities. It's just an unnecessary risk.
Yeah, well, with the first Assault Cuirass up for the Tiny, I think maybe waiting for the next Roshan before they go high ground is still a decent move, but we'll have to see. Smoke up coming out from Sad Voids with the Infested and Lifestealer. They'll find themselves an axe pop out, and Dudu's pretty much completely dead, but then again, Kezia is getting assassinated by 2. He doesn't have a BKB, Eats a finger, but that hardly phases him. Avalanche going to land on 3, the black hole onto 2, but there's no follow-up for this. Gexus, he gets a nice black hole, but the Lifestealer was nowhere close, and now Gex is trying to man fight, and now with the troll on top of his face as well as the Tiny, he's going to get bailed out by the TA trap that's slowing down and kiting those 2 heroes, but nothing more than that. Karuba looking for a TP out, no second hit bash coming out from 2, and well, that'll mean that he's back out to safety. Is that Brannigan? Not really in a safe spot, but he'll be able to blink out just the same. That was really much needed for Sad Voids, but now they're in a position where the T3 tower is in grave jeopardy. T3's gone.
Yeah, that's why they picked up the Enigma for, occasions just like that, where they have an opportunity to land a big black hole. They're going to chase forward, look for this IO off to the sidelines. Tiny, though, is a pretty large brick wall in this troll. If they really want to turn around and fight, they could probably get away with it. Cogs going up with a blind onto pretty much everyone. This is a good fight that Intz can take, despite their numbers disadvantage right now. Toss up onto the Lifestealer. Zap and Gix are clumped up, and they will get closed down. That's 2 easy kills as the Lion also to the sidelines is going to die. Now Karuba on the run. Looks like Cogs are going to save him for a little while longer, but Gix, he is going to try to man fight it out. Infest just coming off cooldown, but it's a little bit too late. He will be going down as well. 3v4 and you still win. This game is looking really bad for Sad Voids now. They don't have a black hole for another 2 minutes, and well, they might not have an Enigma even if he did have a black hole up right now. Avalanche toss, going to throw that troll back in. The troll doesn't want to be in there. They're going to jump in instead onto Zap, who is for some reason in the middle of the fight trying to go for the IO snipe. But IO at this point, having mech is just way too tanky. This is going to be Rax's. And dare I say, this might even just be the game because Intz, they're not really stopping. They're just going to keep plowing through everyone as long as this IO has any sort of mana or health.
With no black hole for 80 seconds, I think they just lose a second lane here. What can they actually do to get into this? I don't think there's really anything. Lucky enough for them, Troll's holding on to his battle transfer now, but once that Glyph's expired, it's pretty much dead. And they have a fresh Scythe up for the Troll. Witchdoctor Death Ward going to kill off the Lion, but that's about it. Doesn't really matter though. Sad Voids, their base is in shambles, and now Gix is also going to be in a pretty similar state. He's scythed up by the Troll. They end up deciding to focus on the Gexos. Hookshot in. It's going to stun up Dudu, but ends up not doing enough. Karuba going to get focused down inside his own cogs, and now Gex is fighting up against the Troll and a whole enemy team. He tries to kill off the axe, but just can't do it. The melee barracks and now the ranged barracks in mid are going to fall. Blink in for a Malefice, but that's all the Gexes can do, and they can turn on him so easily. GG called out by Kezia.
And this was just, I don't want to say that Sad Voids were really outdrafted, although giving away the Troll and the Axe is, pretty large error. They just didn't really play the way that their items should have directed them to play. If they went for a very early mid-game aggressive sort of play style, looked for all those tier 1s, this game would probably still be going on, but they sat back, and I think that is a very large reason why Intz now have a 1-game lead.
Well, we'll have to see if Intz are going to be able to hold on to that lead and take it out 2-0 as we continue on with this series. Game 2 will be coming up shortly, so don't go anywhere. Stick around on HeflaTV 1.